Was this the actual moment the WWE lost Chris Benoit? And why didn't they stop the show after Owen Hart's tragic fall? Rumor has it that the wrestler's blood was still on stage till the very end. It is sickening, but it isn't shocking because it's the WWE. From the Attitude Era to ruthless aggression, the steroid scandal to the Montreal screwjob, there are 10 of the most controversial moments in WWE history. Montreal screwjob. This was the night of November 9th, 1997. It was the night of the Survivor Series pay-per-view event in Montreal, Canada. The night that the wrestling world was changed forever. During a heated WWF Championship match between Bret Hart and Shawn Michaels, the unthinkable happened. Because behind the scenes, Vince McMahon, Shawn Michaels, and other key WWF officials orchestrated a plot that would shock the world and leave Bret Hart as the butt of a very expensive joke. It all began with Hart's impending departure from the WWF. Faced with financial difficulties and disagreements with McMahon, Hart had signed a lucrative contract with rival promotion WCW. However, there was a major concern for McMahon. Hart was still the reigning WWF champion. McMahon was determined to prevent Hart from leaving with the title, and tensions between the two began to escalate. The original plan for the WWF Championship match at Survivor Series was for it to end in a disqualification which would allow Hart to retain the title. However, McMahon had other ideas. He wanted to ensure that Michaels would leave the event as the new champion, but Hart refused to lose to Michaels, setting the stage for a shocking turn of events. On that fateful night, as the match between Hart and Michaels unfolded, the screwjob was set into motion. Referee Earl Hebner, who was in on the plan, received instructions from McMahon to end the match in favor of Michaels, regardless of the actual outcome. As Michaels locked Hart in a submission hold, Hebner rang the bell, declaring Michaels the winner and new WWF champion. The moment was met with disbelief and confusion, not only from Hart, but also from the fans in attendance and those watching at home. Hart, unaware of the betrayal until the match was underway, confronted McMahon and Michaels after the match, expressing his anger and frustration. The fallout from the screwjob was immediate and far-reaching. Backstage, wrestlers were in shock, and some even threatened to boycott the company in solidarity with Hart. The incident caused a major uproar among fans, who saw Hart as the victim of a calculated betrayal. The controversy surrounding the screwjob became the talk of the wrestling world, with debates raging over whether it was a work or a shoot. In the aftermath, Hart's relationship with McMahon and Michaels was strained. Hart was ostracized by McMahon and eventually refused offers of induction into the WWF Hall of Fame. Michaels, on the other hand, continued his career and eventually retired in 2010 as one of the greatest wrestlers of all time. The Montreal screwjob also had a profound impact on the wrestling industry itself. It marked the beginning of the Attitude Era, a period characterized by edgier storylines and a shift towards more adult-oriented content. The incident also led to the creation of the character Mr. McMahon, an authoritarian and arrogant boss who imposed his will on rebellious wrestlers. Despite the controversies and differing accounts of those involved, the Montreal screwjob remains one of the most infamous incidents in professional wrestling history. The Chris Benoit tragedy. The Chris Benoit tragedy remains one of the most haunting and controversial incidents in WWE history. In June 2007, Canadian professional wrestler Chris Benoit committed a series of horrifying acts that would forever stain his legacy. The murder of his wife Nancy and their 7-year-old son Daniel, followed by Benoit's suicide, sent shockwaves through the wrestling community and beyond. Autopsy results revealed the devastating toll that repeated head trauma had taken on Benoit's brain, raising questions about the role of chronic traumatic encephalopathy, CTE, in his actions. Immediately following the revelation of the tragedy, World Wrestling Entertainment, WWE, took swift action. Initially, the company canceled their scheduled show and aired a 3-hour tribute to Benoit, mourning the loss of a talented performer. However, as the full details of the murder-suicide emerged, the WWE swiftly distanced itself from Benoit. All mentions of him were scrubbed from their website and other platforms, and the tribute episode was pulled from international markets. Benoit was also removed from video games and archival footage, effectively erasing his presence from the company's history. Many wrestlers expressed their shock and disbelief, unable to comprehend how someone they had shared the ring with could commit such heinous acts. The media coverage surrounding the case was extensive, with journalists delving into the details and implications of the murder-suicide. The issue of CTE took center stage as Benoit's brain revealed the devastating effects of repeated head trauma. This revelation ignited a broader discussion about the long-term health risks risks faced by wrestlers and the need for better safeguards to protect their well-being. Government investigations were launched into WWE's talent wellness policy, raising questions about the use of steroids and other substances in the industry. The use of performance-enhancing substances in professional wrestling had long been a subject of speculation, and the Benoit case brought this issue to the forefront. The tragedy prompted a congressional investigation into steroid abuse in the industry, further shining a spotlight on the dark underbelly of professional wrestling. Legal issues also emerged in the aftermath of the tragedy. Questions were raised about the medical care and prescriptions provided to Benoit, leading to scrutiny of the doctor's practices and potential legal ramifications. The loss was mourned by fans and communities alike, and separate funerals were held to honor Nancy, Daniel, and Chris. The tragedy left a lasting mark on WWE's programming and public perception. Owen Hart's death. This was the moment Owen Hart lost his life. It was May 23, 1999, during a WWE pay-per-view event known as Over the Edge, which took place in Kansas City, Missouri, USA. Canadian wrestler Owen Hart, known by his stage name the Blue Blazer, fell to his death in front of a live audience at the Kemper Arena in Kansas City, Missouri. Owen James Hart was born on May 7, 1965, in Calgary, Alberta, into the famous Hart wrestling family. His parents, Stu and Helen Hart, were the owners and operators of Stampede Wrestling, a well-known wrestling promotion. In fact, Stu Hart was the one who trained Chris Benoit. In 1983, Owen made his professional wrestling debut, stepping into the ring for the first time as a competitor. He quickly made a name for himself in the wrestling world, impressing both fans and fellow wrestlers with his athleticism, technical prowess, and natural charisma. Pro Wrestling Illustrated took notice of his talent and named him Rookie of the Year in 1987, solidifying his status as a rising star in the industry. Everything was going smoothly until that fateful date. Owen Hart, a member of the famed Hart Wrestling dynasty, was slated to portray his alter ego, the Blue Blazer, in a match against his opponent, Godfather, for the Intercontinental Championship title. However, the planned entrance for the match involved a special stunt where Owen Hart was supposed to descend to the ring on harnesses from a height, portraying the superhero persona of the Blue Blazer. During the execution of this stunt, a tragic accident occurred. While descending from a height of approximately 24 meters, 80 feet, the harness clip that held Hart unexpectedly released, causing him to fall into the ring. Owen Hart sustained severe injuries that proved fatal. Immediate assistance was summoned, but Hart succumbed to his injuries at the scene. The incident sent shockwaves of sadness throughout the wrestling world. WWE promptly halted the show and switched the broadcast to commentary and announcements regarding the incident. Subsequent events were canceled, and wrestlers and WWE personnel mourned the loss of their colleague. The aftermath of the incident had serious repercussions for both WWE and the wrestling industry at large. Investigative authorities conducted an inquiry, determining that the incident resulted from inadequate safety measures and oversight. The Hart family filed a lawsuit against WWE, resulting in an out-of-court settlement. The media's reaction to Owen Hart's death was widespread and emotional. Numerous interviews were conducted with Hart's colleagues and friends, in which they expressed their sadness and respect for him as a wrestler and a person. Overall, it was based on sympathy, respect, and mourning for the departed star. The steroid scandal. In the early 1990s, the World Wrestling Federation, WWF, faced allegations of widespread steroid use among its wrestlers. At the center of this controversy was none other than Vince McMahon, the chairman of Titan Sports Inc., the parent company of the WWF. McMahon was accused of supplying illegal anabolic steroids to his professional wrestlers, leading to a high-profile trial that captured the attention of the media and wrestling fans worldwide. Now, to truly understand the magnitude of the steroid scandal that rocked the World Wrestling Federation, WWF, we must first delve into the background that set the stage for this shocking controversy. In the late 1980s, the WWF underwent a remarkable transformation, transitioning from a regional territorial wrestling promotion to a national powerhouse. This expansion brought increased scrutiny and allegations of steroid use among the wrestlers. It was during this time that Dr. George Zahorian III, a ringside doctor for the WWF, became a central figure in the scandal. In 1991, Zahorian was convicted of illegally supplying anabolic steroids. The trial revealed that Zahorian had been providing steroids not only to individual wrestlers, but also to Vince McMahon's office at Titan Towers, the headquarters of Titan Sports Inc., the parent company of the WWF. Adding to the controversy, Linda McMahon, Vince's wife and the CEO of the WWF, had sent a memo in 1989 advising against using Zahorian due to suspicions of illicit steroid distribution. This raised questions about Vince McMahon's knowledge and involvement in the scandal. Further, Furthermore, before being indicted, McMahon closed down the World Bodybuilding Federation, an organization he owned that promoted bodybuilding competitions. The involvement of Dr. Zahorian and the revelations surrounding his supply of steroids to the WWF and Vince McMahon's office set the stage for a scandal that would shake the wrestling world to its core. WWE faced a series of legal actions and investigations. The organization underwent serious scrutiny, and some wrestlers were even accused of unlawfully using these substances. The ensuing legal proceedings garnered public attention and sparked widespread debate. Evidence, testimonies, and expert opinions regarding steroid use in WWE, its impact on wrestler health, and the organization's role in either facilitating or combating this phenomenon were presented during the trial. The outcomes of the legal process were severe. The organization was compelled to amend its policies regarding drug testing and steroids, implementing stricter control measures. Some wrestlers were disqualified or temporarily suspended for rule violations. Additionally, WWE was forced to pay compensations or issue public apologies in certain cases. The Attitude Era's controversies. The attitude was beyond crazy, it was mental. In the late 1990s, WWE, then WWF, World Wrestling Federation, experienced a period known as the Attitude Era, a period characterized by more controversial, aggressive, and provocative content. It was a time when the company sought to capture the attention of the audience, particularly the youth, through the use of more vivid and controversial storylines, including sexual content and violence. Among them, several key controversial storylines and aspects have been particularly memorable to the community. WWE incorporated a significant amount of sexual content into its programming. This included naked or semi-naked matches, erotic dances and scenes, as well as sexual remarks and anecdotes. This was done to attract viewers' attention and create a more provocative atmosphere. Also notably controversial and memorable was the storyline of Mark Henry's Sexual Chocolate, which was extremely problematic and offensive as it reinforced harmful stereotypes and mocked the transgender community. During this time, WWE also became renowned for numerous storylines that often involved violence and indecent behavior. For instance, the Degeneration X storyline, featuring a group of wrestlers who frequently broke rules and provoked opponents, was particularly provocative. WWE also used sexual discrimination as a storyline element. For example, there were storylines where female wrestlers were subjected to humiliation or sexual harassment by male characters. However, objectification was not limited to women alone. Shawn Stasiak took on the role of Meat, a character effectively used as a sex slave for the Pretty Mean Sisters stable, consisting of Terry Runnels, Ryan Shamrock, and Jacqueline. Meat was portrayed as a submissive character whose sole purpose was to gratify the Mean Sisters. In addition to all of the above, there were numerous scenes and moments during this time that garnered widespread public uproar. For example, the scandalous story of the character Val Venus, known as the Godfather, who was portrayed as a hired hand offering his services in the form of prostitutes. The Godfather makes his way to the ring surrounded by a group of women, often referred to as hoes. Another controversial plot of the Ministry involved the crucifixion of Stone Cold Steve Austin. The Ministry would torment and often kidnap their adversaries. However, the crucifixion of Stone Cold took things to a whole new level. The Bionic Redneck was subjected to a disturbing display involving religious connotations, which understandably led to an influx of complaints directed at WWE. It crossed a line and showed a lack of sensitivity towards religious beliefs. These controversies led to significant public reaction and criticism from various groups, including parents, media organizations, and religious leaders. They accused WWE of contributing to the degradation of youth and promoting unacceptable behavior. In response to this criticism, WWE intensified its monitoring of its content and implemented stricter rules in an attempt to soften its image. However, despite this, the Attitude Era remains one of the most memorable and controversial periods in the history of professional wrestling. The plane ride from hell. This shocking incident, which took place on May 5, 2002, during a flight from Great Britain to the United States, left a lasting impact on the industry and forever changed the way we view the larger-than-life personalities of our favorite wrestlers. As the chartered flight took off from Great Britain, little did the WWE wrestlers and management members know that they were about to experience a journey like no other. The atmosphere was already tense, and with the exhaustion fueling the chaos that was about to unfold. It is also known that a significant amount of alcohol was consumed consumed during the flight, including beer and hard liquor. Many wrestlers were in a state of severe alcohol intoxication, so while their inappropriate behavior is not excused by this, it was partially explained to have been the spirited catalyst. One of the most shocking incidents involved the legendary Ric Flair. Known for his larger-than-life personality and partying lifestyle, Flair took his antics to a whole new level on this flight. In a display of complete disregard for boundaries, Flair began exposing himself to the flight attendants, and even went as far as to grab one of them. This outrageous behavior not only crossed the line of decency, but also violated the law. Another wrestler, Dustin Runnels, known as Goldust at the time, also displayed inappropriate behavior. He openly harassed a frightened flight attendant on board the plane. Meanwhile, another wrestler who contributed to the mayhem was Scott Hall. Battling his demons with substance abuse, Hall was heavily intoxicated during the flight. His drunken state led to a heated altercation with fellow wrestler Curt Hennig. The two men engaged in a physical fight, forcing others to intervene and separate them. The tension between Hall and Hennig lingered throughout the flight, creating an uncomfortable and volatile atmosphere. But the chaos didn't stop there. WWE producer Michael Hayes found himself at the center of controversy when he allegedly made racially insensitive remarks towards WWE diva Terry Runnels. This sparked a confrontation between Hayes and another wrestler, Bradshaw, who came to Runnels' defense. The situation escalated quickly, with Bradshaw delivering a punch to Hayes' face. Reports also emerged of other incidents occurring at the time, including fights between wrestlers, vandalism on board, and breaches of public order. Fortunately, WWE conducted an internal investigation, uncovered all the circumstances of the incident, and identified those involved. Wrestlers who participated in the incidents faced disciplinary actions. These included fines, temporary suspensions from work, and in some cases, termination of employment. Some wrestlers involved in the incidents expressed regret and apologized for their behavior. Some managed to reconcile with those they offended. Muhammad Hassan character. Muhammad Hassan, born Mark Julian Kopani on April 16, 1980, is an American retired professional wrestler. He gained fame during his time in World Wrestling Entertainment, WWE, from 2004 to 2005, where he portrayed an Arab-American character under the ring name Muhammad Hassan. But his career took an unexpected turn when a controversial terrorist angle coincided with the London bombings of July 7, 2005, leading to his character being removed from television. The storyline that was taped on July 4, 2005, would go down in history as one of the most controversial moments in WWE. On that fateful night, the SmackDown general manager Theodore Long put Muhammad Hassan in a #1 contenders match against The Undertaker at the Great American Bash. But what happened next would shock the world. As Hassan made his way to the ring, he began to prey on the ramp, summoning 5 masked men dressed in black shirts, ski masks, and camo pants. Armed with clubs and a piano wire, these masked men viciously beat and choked The Undertaker, while Hassan put him in his signature submission hold, the camel clutch. The scene was intense and unsettling, but what made it even more controversial was the timing. Just 3 days later, the London bombings took place, leaving the world in shock and mourning. The footage of the attack on The Undertaker aired unedited on UPN in the United States and The Score in Canada, with an advisory warning shown several times during the broadcast. However, it was removed from the Australian and European broadcasts, including in the United Kingdom, due to the sensitive nature of the content. The angle immediately garnered national attention, with major media outlets such as the New York Post, TV Guide, and Variety covering the controversial storyline. The portrayal of a terrorist attack during a real-life tragedy sparked outrage and criticism from viewers and media alike. In response to the mounting criticism, UPN, the television network that aired SmackDown, decided to closely monitor the storyline and made it clear that they did not want the Muhammad Hassan character on their network that week. WWE, feeling the pressure, decided to remove Hassan from future programming. Muhammad Hassan's character was written off SmackDown, with The Undertaker delivering a devastating last ride through an open stage ramp onto a concrete floor. It was reported that Hassan sustained serious injuries and had to be rushed to a nearby medical facility. This was seemingly a solution aimed at ending Hassan's character and appeasing the public outcry. In the aftermath of the controversy, WWE.com hosted a video of a kayfabe announcement from Theodore Long, reiterating that Hassan would no longer appear on SmackDown. The character was effectively dropped, and both Kopani and his manager Daivari were sent back to their developmental territories to alter their gimmicks. The CM Punk pipe bomb. On June 27, 2011, CM Punk took to the microphone and delivered a scathing tirade that would forever change the landscape of professional wrestling. Addressing his opponent, John Cena, Punk made it clear that he had a lot to get off his chest before leaving the company in 3 weeks with the WWE Championship. Punk began by expressing his respect for Cena, but quickly shifted gears to challenge the notion that Cena was the best in the business. With unwavering confidence, Punk declared himself as the best wrestler in the world, asserting that he had been the best since day one in the company. This bold statement set the stage for what was to come. One of the most shocking aspects of the promo was Punk's criticism of the backstage politics and the perceived favoritism within WWE. He accused Cena of being a kiss-ass to Vince McMahon, comparing him to the likes of Hulk Hogan and Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. By breaking the fourth wall and acknowledging the audience and the camera, Punk added a layer of authenticity and realism to his words. Punk's association with Paul Heyman, a renowned figure in the wrestling industry, further fueled the controversy. He revealed that he was a Paul Heyman guy, drawing parallels between himself and another Heyman protege, Brock Lesnar. However, Punk made it clear that there was a significant difference between him and Lesnar. He would leave WWE with the championship. The promo took an unexpected turn when Punk addressed his lack of recognition and promotion within the company. Despite his undeniable talent and success, he pointed out that he was not featured on merchandise, program covers, or in movies. He expressed his frustration at not being in the main event of WrestleMania, while Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson was given that honor. Punk didn't hold back in calling out the fans as well. He criticized those who cheered for him, accusing them of being part of the problem. He claimed that they were the ones buying merchandise and programs without his face on them, only to try and get his autograph and sell it on eBay. This confrontation with the audience added another layer of controversy to the promo. As the promo neared its conclusion, Punk made a bold statement. He would leave WWE with the championship on July 17th. This revelation sent shockwaves through the wrestling world, leaving fans and insiders wondering if it was a scripted storyline or a genuine departure. Punk's final words targeted WWE chairman Vince McMahon and the future of the company. He criticized McMahon for surrounding himself with yes-men and expressed his doubts about the company's future under the leadership of McMahon's daughter and son-in-law, Triple H. This scathing critique of the company's management added a sense of uncertainty and anticipation for what would come next. The Katie Vick storyline. In the annals of professional wrestling, few storylines have generated as much controversy and outrage as the Katie Vick storyline. Introduced to the WWE audience in 2002, this angle took a dark and disturbing turn that left fans shocked and appalled. It all began on the October 7th, 2002 episode of Monday Night Raw. Triple H, who was enjoying a prominent push at the time, took the opportunity to accuse his rival, Kane, of being a murderer. This accusation was not related to Kane's previous storyline of burning down his childhood home and causing the death of his parents. Instead, Triple H claimed that Kane had murdered a woman named Katie Vick 10 years prior. The revelation of this shocking accusation left the WWE universe stunned. Kane, known as the devil's favorite demon, had already been portrayed as a monstrous and tormented character. But now, he was being accused of a heinous crime that added a new layer of darkness to his persona. As the storyline unfolded, Kane took to the ring to plead his innocence. He shared a heartfelt story of his friendship with Katie Vick, emphasizing that her death was a tragic accident. Kane explained that they had attended a party together, and on the way home, they were involved in a car accident. Katie Vick was killed instantly, and Kane was left with a broken arm. The Big Red Machine expressed his remorse and revealed that he had thought about the accident every day since. Triple H, however, was relentless in his accusations. He mocked Kane's appearance and questioned who could love someone like him. The Connecticut Blue Blood went as far as to claim that doctors had found Kane's semen during Katie Vick's autopsy, insinuating a more intimate relationship between the two. The shocking nature of the storyline immediately drew intense criticism from fans and wrestling insiders alike. Many considered it tasteless, reprehensible, and a step too far in the world of professional wrestling. The WWE had often pushed boundaries with its edgy content during the Attitude Era, but the Katie Vick storyline crossed a line that many felt should never have been crossed. Wrestling legends and industry insiders voiced their disgust and disbelief at the storyline. Wayne Ferris, also known as Honky Tonk Man, described it as horrible, sick nonsense. J.J. Dillon, a prominent figure in the wrestling business, expressed his disbelief at the creative decision, stating, "I'm glad it wasn't me." Bill Apter, a renowned wrestling journalist, admitted that the storyline made him question whether he would continue watching the product. The controversy surrounding the Katie Vick storyline only intensified as it played out on television. The WWE faced backlash from fans, critics, and even some of its talent. The decision to explore such a sensitive and disturbing subject matter left many questioning the judgment and taste taste of those involved in the creative process. The Crown Jewel controversy. In November 2018, WWE held its inaugural Crown Jewel event in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia, amidst a storm of controversy. The event faced intense scrutiny due to Saudi Arabia's human rights abuses and the killing of journalist Jamal Khashoggi. Despite calls for cancellation, the event went ahead as planned, leaving fans with low expectations. However, what unfolded at Crown Jewel left many disappointed and questioning WWE's decisions. Hulk Hogan's return to WWE at Crown Jewel was a moment that had fans buzzing with anticipation and controversy. After being banned from the company for several years due to racially charged comments, Hogan's reinstatement into the WWE Hall of Fame earlier in the year paved the way for his comeback. The decision to bring Hogan back was met with mixed reactions, as many fans and wrestlers questioned whether he deserved a second chance. Finally, the moment arrived. The lights dimmed, and the iconic Real American theme song blared through the arena. The crowd erupted in a mix of cheers and boos as Hogan made his way to the ring. It was a surreal sight to see the wrestling legend back in a WWE ring after such a tumultuous journey. Hogan, clad in his signature red and yellow attire, took the microphone and addressed the audience. He expressed his gratitude for being given a second chance and apologized for his past mistakes. While some fans embraced his return, others remained skeptical, questioning the sincerity of his apology. The controversy surrounding Hogan's return was undeniable. Many argued that his racist remarks should have permanently barred him from the company. Critics pointed out that WWE's decision to reinstate Hogan was a calculated move to generate buzz and boost ratings, rather than a genuine act of forgiveness. However, it was clear that WWE was willing to take the risk. Hogan's return was a strategic move to create a buzz around Crown Jewel, a controversial event in its own right. The company hoped that Hogan's presence would draw attention away from the negative press surrounding the event and generate excitement among fans. Despite the controversy, Hogan's role at Crown Jewel was relatively minimal. He walked out, cut a brief promo, and left the ring. It was a subdued return compared to the grand entrances and memorable moments he had delivered in the past. Perhaps WWE was cautious about giving Hogan too much spotlight, given the delicate nature of his reinstatement. For some fans, Hogan's return was a nostalgic moment, a chance to relive the glory days of wrestling. They saw it as an opportunity for redemption and forgiveness. Others, however, couldn't overlook the hurtful words he had uttered and felt that his return was a slap in the face to those he had offended. The controversy surrounding Hogan's return at Crown Jewel highlighted the complexities of forgiveness and redemption in the world of professional wrestling. It sparked debates about the responsibility of a company like WWE to hold its performers accountable for their actions. The decision to bring Hogan back was a polarizing one, leaving fans divided and questioning the company's values. The world of wrestling is inherently contradictory, yet it consistently captivates and stirs our emotions and attention. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to check out our channel to see more captivating content.